Hello, hello, hello. Last week, I shared with you some emergency strategies you could use to fall asleep when you wake up at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're unable to go to sleep. This week, I'm going to share with you some habits that if you use make these a habit, it will help you to fall asleep, stay asleep, and rest well. We get to Hi there. Welcome to Stress Talk Live. This is the place where we help women over 40 to live healthier lives through strategic stress management and solution focused self care. I'm Marcyline Bailey, your host. Thank you for joining me today. I know I'm kind of dressed down today. Hey, it's just one of those days. What did you do this weekend? Do anything fun? I did. I went to see Ali Sadiq with a couple of friends, and you know what? I laughed for 2 hours straight. He is such a funny comedian. He is so funny. His style of comedy is like he's a humorist, meaning that he's a storyteller, and he's very similar to Dave Chappelle and to Cat Williams. So if you like that kind of comedy, you will love Ali Sadiq. So it was just hilarious. He's just hilarious. It was a lot of fun. Also, we talk about laughter. Laughter is so good for bringing your stress level down and initiating the relaxation response. So laughter, like I said, I think I laughed for like 2 hours straight during his set. All right, let's talk about our topic for today. Our topic, oh, yeah, I want to also apologize for last week. I don't know, something just happened. So I recorded it, and I posted the video on YouTube. Hopefully, we can get through things today. Hello, good to see you. Hopefully, we can get through things today before the storm comes, because I understand that there's a storm on the way. Okay, so here's our topic for today. We're talking about 3 reliable sleep habits that actually stop anxiety from waking you up. As you know, last week I shared some emergency um, things with you, emergency things, some emergency tools with you. And I'm going to go over those real quickly because they are tools that you can use in the moment when you wake up late at night or in the middle of the night and you're not able to fall back to sleep. After I go over those emergency tools, I'm going to do it very quickly. Then I'm going to share with you habits that are long-term strategies, and these strategies will help you over time to create habits. These strategies will help you to create habits that will also help you to go to sleep, stay asleep, and to wake up well rested. So let's go over our emergency tools, okay? First, I talked about 478 breathing. 478 breathing is a breathing technique that you breathe in for 4 counts, you hold your breath for a count of 7, and then you sigh out your exhale for a count of 8. So you breathe in 4, hold it for 7, and then sigh it out, meaning you expel the air through your mouth on a count of 8. The next thing that I talked about was called the articulatory suppression. And this is basically when you have ruminating thoughts, thoughts that are like constantly going in your head and you can't stop them. No matter how hard you try, they're constant. And this happens mainly at night. It happens at night because of how the brain works. And I shared the articulatory suppression method. This is where you repeat in your head a word, a benign word, a word that has no real meaning, but you repeat this word and it stops those ruminating thoughts. The word that I suggested is the, the. It's a benign word. We use it all the time. And we are able to, we use it all the time. And we are able to suppress those ruminating thoughts. The thoughts do not stay with us. So, y'all killing me. So, but not really, because I don't really care. So it suppresses those thoughts. Okay. So that was another strategy that I shared with you. Also, I shared with you going on a mental vacation, and I talked about how I can imagine or I can think about going to Jamaica and being in St. Thomas and actually thinking about the sights, the smells, the feel of the sun on my skin, the feel of the breeze on my skin. I can actually imagine that. So, going on a mental vacation, something that is very pleasing and pleasant to you, but also something that's relaxing. The fourth emergency strategy I shared with you was the 20-minute rule. Basically, if you are not able to go back to sleep within 20 minutes and you find yourself tossing and turning, get up. Just get up, get out of bed. When you stay in bed, your brain associates stress and not being able to sleep with your bed. So you don't want to stay in there if you're tossing and turning. You want to get up, go to a room where there's dim lighting, and do a brain dump. Get a piece of paper, write out everything that's on your mind. You don't have to edit it. Grammar doesn't matter. Spelling doesn't matter. Just get everything out on paper. Also, try not to pick up your phone. We are so accustomed to picking up our phones. And I'm going to talk about why we shouldn't pick up our phones when we're not able to sleep. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But you want to get everything out when you're following the 20-minute rule and you're doing a brain dump. Get everything out. Everything that you're concerned about, things that you're worried about, things that you're thinking about. Just get it out, put it on a sheet of paper, and then tell yourself, okay, I'm going to pick this up in the morning. And then if your brain goes back, if you start thinking about those things, remind yourself, nope, I'm going to pick this up in the morning. Then do something that's relaxing, reading. I know we don't really read, but read not on your phone, not on your tablet, not on your computer. Get a book, get an actual hard copy, paperback book. Go through a magazine that has relaxing pictures, calming pictures, pictures that help you to relax. Do something that is relaxing that does not require a lot of light. And then when you start to feel drowsy, I suggested then go back to bed. If you think you're going to wake up when you go back to bed, then just doze where you are. Cover yourself if you want with a blanket, and just doze where you are. The thing is, you just want to get restful sleep. Okay? So those are the four emergency strategies that I shared with you last week. So let's talk about some long term strategies, okay? These are strategies that are things that should be habitual, activities that should be habitual. And if you make them habitual, meaning Things that are habitual are things that we do automatically, things we don't have to think about, things we don't have to put a lot of thought into because we can just pick it up and do it without a lot of thought, without a lot of commotion. So, the first long term strategy that I want to share with you is something that you would actually do during the day. And this is a strategy that I've shared with you before, but it's a little different because you're going to do it during the day. And it is a cognitive behavioral therapy technique that I often recommend to my clients who experience anxiety. You're going to schedule a time to worry. We schedule lunch, we schedule breaks, schedule a time to actually worry. And you can do this in the afternoon. You can have your worry time at the same time every afternoon. Schedule 15 to 20 minutes and use a timer. You're going to use a timer and you're going to write down everything that worries you, concerns you, bothers you, aggravates you, frustrates you, sends you over the edge. You're going to write it all down. And then you're going to stop when your timer goes off. Again, you're not going to edit this list. Grammar doesn't matter, spelling doesn't matter. What matters is that you get out of your brain or out of your heart all the things that concern you, worry you, frustrate you, aggravate you, piss you off. You want to get it down on paper. But again, it's a scheduled time that you're going to spend every day, every afternoon. Then at night or anytime in the evening, when you start thinking about all of those things that I just mentioned, the things that concern you, worry you, frustrate you, aggravate you, and so on, you're going to remind yourself that you have scheduled a meeting to worry. You're going to take care of it in your scheduled worry session. I know this probably sounds like, Marcy, that doesn't make any sense. Really, that's not going to stop me from worrying. That's not going to stop me from ruminating. Yeah, it will. Because the more you practice it, the more you do it, the more it will become automatic for you. Remember, habits are those things that are automatic. We don't have to think about it, we just do it automatically. So, the first strategy, long term strategy I've shared with you is to schedule worry time every afternoon. The second long term strategy is to actually have a real wind down routine or a real bedtime routine. This is something that I also recommend to my clients who have trouble falling asleep. 2 hours before you have before your established bedtime, your regular bedtime, our bodies really start to get us ready to go to sleep. What happens as adults, we fight those feelings, we fight those sensations that indicate to us that we're getting ready to fall asleep. We do a better job putting children to sleep, right? We put children to sleep and we recognize those signs in them, but in us, we are too busy trying to watch our show. We're too busy trying to finish something that we were working on. We just want to stay up because, yes, staying up is hot. When we were teenagers, we wanted to stay up and stay up as late as we could. And probably when we were in college, we pulled all-nighters. However, as adults, and if you are over 40, you need your sleep. You do. You need your sleep. I need my sleep and I do get my sleep. I get my sleep. So, having a real bedtime routine helps. First thing you want to do is have a set bedtime. Establish a time that you are actually going to be in the bed. For some of you, it's going to be 11 o'clock at night. Some it's going to be 10. Some it's going to be 9 or 9:30. I know someone who goes to bed at 7:30. That's a little early for me. However, it works for them. The thing is, have an established bedtime and every night work towards getting in bed at that time, because that's going to train your body and your mind that that is the bedtime for you. 1 hour before your established bedtime, at least 1 hour before your established bedtime, you want to get rid of all screens. I know. What? Hold it. Get rid of all screens? Yeah, get rid of all screens. And when I mean all screens, I'm talking about your phone, your computer, your television. Why? Because these devices emit a blue light, and that blue light suppresses melatonin. Melatonin is a sleep hormone that we need, and it helps us to go to sleep. Some of you are taking melatonin because you can't go to sleep. And so you take melatonin so that you can fall asleep. Guess what? Perhaps if you got rid of the blue lighting, the blue lights, the things, the devices that emanate blue light in your room, in your bedroom, you wouldn't need the melatonin. The other reason for getting rid of your screens, phones, tablets, and televisions, computers. The other reason to get rid of those is because when you're watching those, it's very stimulating to your brain. It stimulates your brain, and your brain doesn't shut down. It's working. So, yes, please don't throw anything at me while you're watching. Yes, get rid of your screens at least I should say, at the very latest, 1 hour before your bedtime. Now, do I do that? That's something I'm working on. Okay. I am working on it. I don't do that regularly. So I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest, but I do know that getting rid of the blue light helps. Okay. And devices, your phone, tablet, computer, television, click, turn them off. Okay. Also, clocks, digital clocks emit blue light. So I've talked about two long term strategies: scheduling worry time during the day, 15 to 20 minutes, also having a real bedtime routine, something that you get rid of your lights, your blue lights, something that you can something that's you can do that's very relaxing. So if you get rid of the blue light emitting devices, read a book. Again, a physical book, not something that you're going to find on your phone, not an ebook, a physical book. Do some light stretching. Listen to calm music or nature sounds. Take a warm bath or a shower. Journal. Write. Do some gratitude writing. Express gratitude, because when we express gratitude, it actually calms the amygdala and it helps us to focus the brain away from threats. And as you know, as I've been sharing with you, threats are what activate the amygdala and cause the amygdala to initiate the stress response. So you want to do things that are going to bring your lower that activity in the brain and relax you. Another, and some of you I will like this. Another long-term strategy is sex. It's very relaxing, right? So that's another activity that you can do that will help to calm you down and to help you to sleep. Here in the United States, we use our bedrooms for everything, right? In other countries, they don't. The bedroom is for sleeping. The bed is for sleep. We use our bed for lots of different things. We study in our bed. We do lots of other stuff, right? So you want your bedroom, you want to have your bedroom set up so that it will facilitate sleep. And having a bedtime routine is one of those ways. Okay, here is the third, the third um, strategy. Okay, you want to tame your daytime anxiety, and you can do that by um, doing things that will quiet your mind during the day. Our minds are very active during the day, and we want to be aware of our thoughts, our individual thoughts, as well as the patterns in which we think, our thought patterns. We want to be very aware of those because our thoughts, we have patterns that we actually rely on quite a bit. Some people have negative leaning thoughts. Some people have black or white thoughts. It's either this or this, but there's no gray in the middle. Some people have very judgmental thoughts, okay? So you want to be aware, or critical thoughts. You want to be aware of your thoughts, the individual thoughts, as well as the patterns, your thought patterns. If you are aware of those, you can change that. You can refocus, excuse me, you can shift your frame of reference and you can change the way that you're thinking. Okay. A good way to do that, to learn how to do that and to become more aware, excuse me, to notice is to practice mindfulness meditation during the day. I have meditations on my YouTube channel, and you can use those. Some are 15 minutes, some are 10 minutes, some are 20 minutes. Use those to help you to take your mind out of that loop of activity and to quiet it during the day. Because if your mind is relaxed and quiet during the day, that will help facilitate sleep at night. When you practice mindfulness and practice it through mindfulness meditation, it doesn't stop your thoughts. That's not the purpose of it. It doesn't stop you from thinking and it doesn't clear your mind. Some people think that, but that's not what it does. It actually helps you to learn to observe and see your thoughts without getting caught up in them. You can notice a thought without getting on that hamster wheel and thinking about that same thought and making that thought bigger until it captures your mind. Mindfulness meditation helps you to learn just to observe them, acknowledge a thought, and let it go. It also strengthens your prefrontal cortex. Remember, that is the part of your brain that thinks, that is the part of your brain that reasons. And when you're able to strengthen your prefrontal cortex, the prefrontal cortex has the ability to regulate the amygdala much better. It doesn't get hijacked by the amygdala. And that will help you at night when you're trying to fall asleep. So, taming your daytime anxiety through learning and being aware of your thoughts as well as your thought patterns, and also practicing mindfulness meditation. And you can find, again, meditation, right? You can find guided meditations on my YouTube channel at ML Bailey Consultants. Okay. So here is a bonus. Here's a bonus strategy that can help you to stop anxiety from waking you up. Daytime habit, exercise. When we exercise, we actually burn excess hormones like cortisol. Ooh, excuse me. Cortisol is a stress hormone. And when we are anxious, our brain is pumping lots and lots of cortisol into our system. So when we're exercising, however, that helps to burn off that cortisol. Another thing that's beneficial when it comes to exercise, if we have a lot of cortisol in our system, that cortisol also causes us to gain weight. So if we're exercising and burning that cortisol off, then we are able to lose weight a little easier or a little better. Okay. So physical exercise, not only does it help to burn off stress hormones like cortisol, it also boosts our mood stabilizing hormones in our brain, are in those endorphins that make us feel good. You know, we you know about runner's high. You know, people who run, they get into this state where they're just in this phase that is just, oh, it just feels so good to them, and it's just really good. It's like they're moving. You know, it's really good. So, if we exercise, when we exercise, it boosts our mood stabilizing hormones. Also, when you're physically tired, a physically tired body will cooperate more with a mentally quiet mind. So, if you can pair a physically tired body with a mentally quiet mind because you've practiced mindfulness meditation during the day as well, it'll be much easier for you to fall asleep, to stay asleep, to sleep through the night, and to wake up well rested. So, I have just gone through emergency tools that you can use. I've gone through those again for you very quickly. And I've also talked about long term strategies that will help you to fall asleep and stay asleep and to wake up well rested. Those long term strategies are scheduling a worry time during the day, 10, 20, 15, 20 minutes, a scheduled worry time that you will do during the day every day. Having a real wind down or bedtime routine where you have a set bedtime, you have an established bedtime, you also get rid of all of your blue light emitting devices like your TV, your phone, your, I know you all are like, your phone, your pad, your tablet, and your computer. You're going to get rid of those and turn them off. Doing something that's very relaxing, like reading a physical book, light stretching, listening to calm music, or to nature sounds. I also shared with you taming your daytime anxiety. Again, recognizing your thoughts as well as your thought patterns and practicing mindfulness meditation. And last but not least, physical exercise, getting rid of that cortisol or lowering that cortisol through exercise. That could be walking, it could be jumping jacks, it could be dancing. Yeah, could be dancing. Anything that's physical during the day. And you're going to pair that with your quiet mind because that will help you again to fall asleep quickly, stay asleep, and to wake up well rested. Whew, well, that's all I have for you today. I'm so glad that you joined me. It has been a pleasure to be with you. We're going to continue the discussion next time on Stress Talk Live. I'm Marcyline Bailey. As always, take good care.